Hey, this is Wired for Gadgets, and we're about to do a quick review on the Samsung Galaxy Note 3 versus the Samsung Galaxy Note 2. On our left, we have the Samsung Galaxy Note 3, and on our right, we have the Samsung Galaxy Note 2. As you can tell, you can see that by the design, they're already different. The Note 3 has a plastic rear, so as the Note 2. The difference between the two is that the Note 3 has a leather effect finish, whereas the Note 2 has a glossy effect finish. Basically, the Note 3 is 8.3 millimeters thick, you can see, whereas the Note 2 is 9.4. And the Note 3 actually weighs slightly lesser than the Note 2. Now let's move on to the screen. With the Note 3, we have a AMOLED screen, and with the Note 2 we just have a standard Super AMOLED screen. The Note 3 is a slightly larger screen, so with both of these phones I never found it for myself to be able to one-hand them as much. So with both of these phones you will need two hands. The S Pen, which is a feature that a lot of our users or phone users like to use. The S Pen for the Note 2 is actually easier to come out, in my opinion. They did a good design on that one. So it comes out. But for the Note 3, it's a little bit harder because they made it a flat finish. So you really gotta put some nail in there to get the pen out. So both of them have a single button push in tip, and basically Wacom designer. So both of the pins are basically similar to both of these devices. Now for the software, for the Note 3, we're running Android 4.3, and for the Note 2, we're running Android 4.1. Now for the CPU and RAM, Note 3 surpasses the Note 2 because Note 3 is using Snapdragon, whereas Note 2 is using a different one. I can't remember what the name of it is, but Snapdragon is the latest and greatest and is better. Note 2 has a quad core, I believe it's 2.3 gigahertz, and the Note, did I say Note 2? That's Note 3 has the quad core 2.3 gigahertz. The Note 2 have like 1.6 gigahertz with 2 gigabytes of RAM. Note 3 has 3 gigabytes of RAM, so you get a little bit more space there with the Note 3 to process all your apps and everything. Storage, one good plus about the Note 3, they bumped the storage up to 32 gigabytes, whereas the Note 2 started off with 16 gigabytes. So you get a little bit more storage space, and you also can still add a micro SD card to the Note 3. So basically you can add a 32 gigabyte, another 32 gigabyte, and end up with a 64 gigabyte phone. Now let's talk about price real quick. Yes, the Note 3 costs more. If you are on a new, or you're up and able to get a new contract, renew your contract for another 2 years, you can pick up the Note 3 for $300. Note 2, I believe, is still $200 depending on your carrier. So of course the Note 2 costs less than the Note 3, but with the Note 3 you are getting some ups. Faster CPU, more RAM, larger and beautiful screen, and a funky S Pen. Now, also with the upgrades that you're spending for that extra $100 is the camera. With the Note 3, you're going to bump up to 13 megapixels. With the Note 2, you're down to 8 megapixels. So if you're good or like to take tons of pictures and videos, then Note 3 will suit you better. I've actually taken some pictures, compared the pictures to my iPhone, and I actually use my Note 3 now more for my images. It just works that way. Note 3, it don't fit in my pocket, so basically I carry it outside of my pocket, in my hand, or in a book bag or some sort of bag. So overall, the overall opinion of our users is basically, do you have the money to upgrade to the Note 3? If you do, you're going to love this device. It is worth the upgrade. If you do not, then the Note 2 will be sufficient. It still does the same thing. You get an 8 megapixel camera instead of a 13 megapixel camera, but you still get a lot of the features that the Note 3 offers, and you still get a great phone. So that's our overview of a comparison between the Samsung Galaxy Note 2 versus the Note 3. And come back, subscribe, and we'll get some more reviews out. Later.